Good evening everyone and welcome to the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League on the PlayStation platform. I am one or two commentators for tonight, Malc. With me on his debut tonight is Mini Daniel, but I'm going to call him Dan tonight. So, how you doing, Dan? You alright?
I'm doing great, thank you. And hopefully the race will definitely be exciting, but how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. And let's hope, as you rightly say, we hopefully will have a cracker of a race tonight. We're at the Spanish Grand Prix for the Catalonia track at Barcelona. So obviously we're 2 races left to go. Obviously this is one of 2 races left at round 11. So who will try and win at the Spanish Grand Prix? But unfortunately I haven't got the track info with me tonight, but we have got a scenario for tonight because the permutation scenario, Rimpa will be champion if he wins the race, or he finishes second, or finishes third with fastest lap, or loses with 5 points or less to Speed Queen and loses 7 points or less to Jump Line. So this could be a mathematical situation for the permutations for Rimpa, who's been absolutely outstanding this season. So, but like I said, I wish him and everyone else all the very best of luck for tonight, and that is the permutations for season 12 for F2 on the PlayStation platform. We have also got the driver standings. The driver standings, as I said, Rimpa, who's on top-notch form. He's had like at least one win every 2 races. Well, every 2 races. So he might have a chance. He might get a second place, the way it looks, the way the pattern that you see. So he's on for his 6th podium in a row. Jump Lion is also on a chance for a double podium, and also we've got Jack Hickey, who's on his debut. Had a podium as well, so he's done a brilliant start to his career. It was just a shame for, I believe, Smoking Aces, who's also was out of the points last week at the Chinese Grand Prix. But also to watch out for Rimpa, Speed Queen and Jump Lion, who will be on their tails to try and close. Well, Speed Queen and Jump Lion will try and close the gap onto Rimpa for the driver standings. But hopefully we'll try and get to the final race at Singapore. But the constructors, we have got the Alpha Tauri with first place with 132. You got the Red Bull team is in second with 115. You got the McLaren is in third with 99 points. The Ferrari is in fourth with 69, same joint fourth with Williams in with 69 points as well. And the rest are under 69 points. And check out, obviously, please check out the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live races itself tonight, and also throughout the remainder of the week. Last night, brilliant job from Gareth, who got his 100th career commentating / drive as well. So massive congratulations to him on his commentating stuff as well. Does a brilliant job as well in the F1 League. Check him out for next week for the finale at the Singapore. We also got the Xbox League live exclusive for you guys tonight. So check them out on the Twitch channel, which is on the Invictus Racing Leagues. And then we also got the rest of the week. We got the PC leagues on F1 and F2, and also PlayStation platforms of F3 and F4 tomorrow night. So that's an action-packed YouTube bonanza, as we always say, to try and pick out which races that you want to watch. And then also got the Performance League Thursdays, which is the Xbox version and also the PlayStation version as well. But like I said, guys, not only we're on YouTube and Twitch, we also got the Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for all the social media sites. So check them out, guys. Please check them out. And also make sure you check out the InvictusRacingLeague.com for all the latest news and all the latest info that's related to the Invictus Racing League. So, Mini Daniel, I know you've had a quick look at the driver standings, as I mentioned, but and it's your debut tonight. So, what have you driven around much at Spain in your career?
Well, I've driven a lot on it, especially from driver's view. It's quite a flowing, nice track to drive, but as a viewer point, it's definitely, well, the track with the modern aero stuff and with all the dirty air, it's really difficult to overtake. and hopefully all this could change with the new regs next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just one of those tracks where, with the regulations as well to check out as well, and be a classic to be fair. But have you? As I think we mentioned like just before we started, but with the tyre wear, if it was a dry race, have you had a great situation of the tyre strategies that you've noticed at Spain?
Yeah, and well, I would say one stop would be more powerful, because as you do the two stop, you can really get held up by other drivers, because it's really difficult to overtake.
Absolutely.
You could do like a medium to hards, or even a soft to hards if you make this soft last. But it would be a difficult job.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it should be. It just all depends on the situation, and obviously we will need to know the weather crew to be finding out whether it's going to be a wet race. Which you can check out the F1 race last night on the PlayStation platform. It was a rainy intermediate last night, so could it be the same again at Spain, or could we see the dry scenario? That's the one that we will try and find out in a moment or two. But like I said earlier on, I wish everyone all the very best of luck, especially to Rimpa, who could be on to win his drivers' championship as well. But obviously, Speed Queen and Job Lion will need to stop Rimpa at all costs as well, and he's the man to watch, to be fair. So it's going to be tough, because obviously with Rimpa, with that fantastic momentous stuff, from what you've seen on the driver standards, do you think he'll emulate another podium tonight, or do you think there'll be a few shocks tonight?
Well, it's definitely possible. We saw that he definitely got the pace to do it, and well, we'll just have to wait and see if he mastered the track, and who mastered the track the best.
Absolutely.
But it's wet qualifying.
Yeah, you're right. You're right there, Dan. It is absolutely tipping it down rain. So could we see it's like lightning strike twice? Could we see the rain kicking in, similar to what the F1 League last night in the PlayStation platform? So, but have you driven? I know you said you've driven around a little bit at the Spanish Grand Prix, but have you driven much in wet conditions in this scenario? How would you master the wet conditions?
Well, I'm not too much of a wet specialist, to be honest. I'm quite bad at the wet, to be honest, but they'll definitely need to be really cautious on the throttle and really patient with everything, with turning and the throttle application.
Absolutely, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes now. But I'm surprised with obviously it's not as bad as you would see, like not intermediate conditions, but it's still raining obviously. But obviously some drivers have gone out on the pit stops with the softs, so they're thinking at the time.
I'm back already off.
Oh, what's happened? What's happened, mate?
He spun into the gravel, and he's got a broken front wing.
So this is why. Well done for the spot there, Dan. This is why you have to be absolutely spot on with the track conditions. But as you can see, quite a few drivers have gone out into the track itself with the soft tyres. So we might not get, probably won't get a good time around at the Spanish Grand Prix or at the Catalonian track as well. So from what I can remember in the track itself, normally a 14s or 15s is the way forward if it was dry. So what time would you reckon, from what you've seen in the past or anything like that, but what time would you reckon that this could be tonight as a guess?
I don't know if I might be my guess. It's just hard to call. But I would like to point out quickly that 3 drivers went on medium tires, which is quite bold in these rainy conditions.
Yeah, there was about Rimpa. Oh, Mr. Steen has just gone off track into the gravel at turn 16, so he'll be with dirty tyres as well. So he's going to be absolutely careful as well. But let's go back to Andriy now to see what he can try and do with 15 minutes left of the qualifying. If you are enjoying the stream, guys, please make sure you like, subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself. Please check him out as well. So I don't know if Andriy is just trying to build up. Looks like he's trying to save his ERS as much as possible. So what time he would do? A 54.2 on sector 2. So it looks like he's trying and build himself up to try and do another lap. But he's sliding round. He's sliding round at I believe turn 11. I think it was turn 11. So that's where you're gonna be absolutely careful. But who are you watching so far, Dan?
Well, I'm just got my camera on Humblestone. I just started his lap, and well, Andriy just set provisional fastest lap.
Yeah, so he's done a brilliant job there with a 1:23.835 on the softs. But yeah, Humblestone, who's trying to push on, he has done some good racing that he has seen in the past. Obviously, he's missed a few this season, but hopefully he'll try and aim well with the medium tyres to go on as much as possible. Mr. Steen's got 1:32.3, but then again, he had that strong issue at turn 16. One of the drivers, I believe, that might be Beck again, or is that Jack Hickey? No, it wasn't. It's Beck. That was Beck who lost out at turn 1 again. So a few drivers are absolutely struggling with turn 1 at the moment. And Luke Bailey is still at 1:23.4 on the soft tyres. Rimpa, the Drivers' Championship leader, is in second place with 1:23.7. So that's a really good time. Do you agree, Dan?
Yeah, it's definitely a great time, but let's not forget these conditions are definitely really difficult. It's like it's definitely a weird conditions with the crossover to the intermediate is not enough, and they all like go on slicks with rainy conditions, so they'll definitely be really struggling.
Absolutely, and Andriy has just got himself back up to pole position with a 1:22.8, so 6/10 better off than Luke Bailey, so that's a good time for him. Let's see how Keiran can do. Keiran has lost out at turn 1 again, so himself and Beck are also struggling with the turn 1 scenario. Now, just watching jump a line now, he's on the medium tyres at the moment, so from his perspective, he needs to try and get a really good time to close the gap onto Rimpa, because otherwise it's going to be a tough call tonight to try and catch up to Rimpa, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. But we obviously seen that speed he's definitely got the speed, and if maybe Rimpa got some unlucky races, and he's definitely got a chance.
Absolutely. Might have had the chance, because don't forget, he has had just a recap. I know he was watching it from the driver standings itself, but from everyone's perspective, he has come back from the back of the grid to get himself into the podium, but he's only done that a few times this season. But the last few races has cost him massive points to try and catch up to Rimpa, so he's going to have to try and produce something that a rabbit out of the hat as quickly as possible. So one of the racing points is just crossing over the line. Now that might be either Keiran or Humblestone, but just watching Speed Queen now, she's trying to close into the DRS straight now, and she's moved up to 8th place with 1:25.6. 1.9 seconds of a gap between herself and Rimpa, which is not good enough at the moment if you want to try and stop Rimpa to win the Drivers' Championship tonight. But who are you watching so far, Dan?
Well, now I'm just watching Keiran, after the spin, and well, he's now just limping to the pits.
It's just, I think he's trying to get himself a little bit quicker. Well, see what time he will do in the second set to see if he's improved his time. Yeah, massively improved his time. So it could be a 125 at the moment, as things stand. Could be a 125. So it's come up to the third sector now. I feel like the third sector has always been, second sector is always the trickiest because obviously you've got the blind right-hander to watch out for, but it's always the chicane that people always mess up, and you could lose by a second or two. So that's why you can't make any silly mistakes. And 23.9, Kesa, Kesa has done a 123.9. That's a really good lap from him.
Yeah, obviously really great time, but still 1 second off Huhtari, and with Huhtari on the medium tires, I believe, now going out.
He's going out for the medium tyres now. But obviously his best lap was on the soft tyres itself, Dan.
Soft.
Yeah. So, but from your perspective, did you? This is going to be a close. This is going to be a close qualifying from what you can see. Obviously, I've seen the pack is really close with the times itself when it was a dry scenario. But in wet conditions itself, it's going to be always tricky. But Smoking Aces, unfortunately, has been disqualified. He is out of the qualifying because of a wrong way scenario, so he must have made a massive mistake in the pit entry. But Beck is coming up to the trickiest part of the second sector. But is there any part of the track that you may think is more important to watch out for tonight, Dan?
Well, as you said, definitely the last chicane is really difficult, but also, as you said earlier, the blind fast corner is also really difficult, and it's blind, so you can't really see where you're going, so you might overshoot and go into the grab, or you might get a perfect exit.
Absolutely. And Beck has moved himself back moves himself up to fourth with a 123.697. That's a really good time from him. Absolutely brilliant time as well. Luke Bailey's invalidated his lap, so he'll be absolutely fuming. But Andriy is on the medium tyres. He's just trying to see if he can try and improve his 22.8 in the softs, but obviously in the medium tyres conditions. But he was 7/10 off his best time at the moment, but he's going back himself into the pits, so be absolutely trying to push on. But obviously Jack Hickey, who's just got himself to third with 123.1, so that's a good time for him. Huntari is out of the qualifying. I'm not sure exactly why, but it might be that you cannot go any further or cannot improve that 22.8, so you'll have to start on the softs and just hope that no one else is trying to push on. Trying to see what happens. Just seeing how Jack Hickey can try and push on now. You got Luke Bailey in fourth, Beck in fifth place at the moment, Keza in sixth, Jump Lion in seventh, Mr. Steen who's in eighth place, Stefan who's in ninth, Speed Queen she's in 10th. Nightshades, who I haven't mentioned about in his qualifying, but at the moment he's in 11th place. Humblestone is in 12th, and Mr. Stim is in 13th place. But with Smoking Aces, is the only one who's at the DSQ during the race tonight. But Beck has got himself into second place now with 123.0. But who are you watching so far, Dan?
Well, just watching Nightshade. I think he was on his fast lap, but he invalidated his lap, I believe. Correct,
yes. So we'll have a look at Luke Bailey now. He's invalidated his lap. We'll have a look at Mr. Steen. Mr. Steen with 123.2. So can the Williams driver improve his time, or I think he might slow down to try and go back into the pits, because the tyre wear is not that great. The tyre wear is also not great. Oh, the Ferrari. That might be. We'll have a look at Stefan actually. See how Stefan can try and improve. He's on the medium tyres again with a 124.7. But is there any drivers that you've watched so far in the qualifying that you've been really impressed with, in the qualifying tonight.
Well, it's quite impressive from Beck that after the spin he managed to like refocus and say provisional front row time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So he's done an absolute stellar job, but can he try and get even closer to Andriy? But that's a big question for some of the drivers tonight. So Stefan is just coming up to the first corner now and then into turn 2, which people have had really struggles with on the wet conditions tonight. So the way it looks from some of the drivers tonight might be a dry conditions, but we'll still have to wait to find out from the weather crew to see if we get any more updates. But at the moment, with 4 minutes 30 left of the qualifying, we've got Andriy in first, Becky's in second, Rimpo's in third, but Rimpo and Jack Hickey, who are both only a 10th difference, they're in the medium tow, so that's a really impressive time from those two. Mr. Steen is in fifth. Actually, Keza's moved himself up to second now with 122.9, so that's a really good time from him. Let's see how Stefan can try and improve. He's 5 tenths quicker. He's 5 tenths quicker, so at the moment he could be on for 24.2 as things stand. 24.2 could be lower. Could he try and improve into the 23s? That'll be a massive achievement for him. Let's see how it goes now. So he come up to underneath the signboards now, out to the chicane, and come up to the last couple of corners now, turn 16. Now coming up to the DRS straight now. Let's see what he can try and do. 24.1. A 1 minute 24.1. That's a good time for him, but probably not enough to move a few positions so far in this qualifying tonight. With 3 minutes 20 left. Dan, is there any driver that you're watching so far?
Well, just was watching the Stefan Rands doing his lap alongside you, and yeah, he managed to improve, but he still stays P9, and it's going to be really interesting if he manages to still make an in-lap and an out-lap really quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely, and well, he might have enough. It's going to be a touch and go depending on where he is on track, but Hubstone is 2 tenths slower on his time on the soft, so 25.5 is not going to be at the moment great. Rimpa is retired in the session, so he will not improve his time, but he's starting off on the mediums the way it goes at the moment. Now coming up to the chicane part with Hubstone. Can he try and get a few tenths from the last couple of corners? Needs to try and push on massively now. Moves up to the 11th. He moves up to 11, 125.1. Improves by 4 tenths, I believe, but at the moment, only in 11th place, just outside the top 10. So, but yeah, there's quite a few drivers who could be on for a good start of the qualifying, but with Beck, could have a chance 2 tenths off. Might have a chance to do it. Luke Bailey's on the soft tyres now. He might get into the 53s. 6 tenths. He's purple. He is purple on second sector. So that could be a 22.8. A 22.8, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, Luke Bailey doing an absolute...
Beck, there was...
What's happened?
Oh my... No, there was a Beck had a massive crash out of the fast corner, the blind corner, and well, he just spun straight into the inside wall.
Oh no! So unfortunately for Beck, he's out of the qualifying. From what you can see on the map itself, I did say to you earlier on, Dan, that was the toughest corner, the blind corner, the fast right-hander that you have to master as well. Luke Bailey moves himself up to third. Speed Queen, she's on the intermediates. I think she's just trying out with the intermediates to see if she can improve quickly. But Hubberstone trying to get slowly going back into the pits. But I bet you're glad you're not driving in these conditions as well tonight, Dan.
Yeah, but as you said, Speed Queen on intermediates, and it will be really interesting if she gets a good lap with the intermediates, and we might see the intermediates might be way better than a slicks, but
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
just have to wait and see.
yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's not wet enough. Yeah, it's not wet enough. She's lost at least a second, and she's lost a couple of corners as well. So it is not enough to improve, but hopefully she'll try and improve massively. But at the moment, qualifying has now stopped, guys. Qualifying has now stopped. For the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League, Kez has just gone a little bit wide, so he's 3/10 behind. He went way wide at just before the end of the first sector, so hopefully he'll try and produce the bestest couple of sectors that he has ever done at the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League. Keza coming up to the blind right-hander now, and he can try and push on massively. Mr. Steen has got ball position with a 1:22.7. That's a really good time there from Mr. Steen. But at the moment, Keza's on, well, it's saying he's purple on second sector. He is purple on second sector. Needs to find 2/10 from somewhere to try and beat Mr. Steen for pole position. John Palaio is in 8th and has retired. So here we go, can Keza try and push on now. Coming to the last corner now at turn 16. This is the part where you need to push on now. Oh, he misses out. He misses out. I think he just misses out by, I reckon, not much. I reckon not. Oh my god. 1/100th of a second. 1/100th of a second between Mr. Steen and Keza. Had he not gone wide at the first sector, he would have got pole. He would have got pole. But let's go have a look at the short qualifying classification for the Spanish Grand Prix for the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League on the PlayStation platform. Mr. Steen in first, Keza second, Hatari's in third, Luke Bailey fourth, Beck fifth, Rimpa sixth, Jack Hickey seventh, Trouble Lion eighth, Stefan ninth, Nightshades 10th, Hubberstar 11th, Speed Queen 12th. Mr. Steen did not have a time at all, but Smoking Aces has a DSQ in the qualifying. Hopefully he will not emulate that again in the race itself. But what's your thoughts of qualifying from your point of view, mate?
Well, it was just extraordinary that they managed to keep on track with slick tires in these conditions. Obviously, we saw some drivers spinning out, for example, Beck, but he still managed to put on the second row.
Absolutely, absolutely. He's done an absolute stellar of a job to get into that pole position, and just by the nick of time, because Keza, it was really, really up for it as well. So we could be on for a dog-eat-dog fight, shall we say, of those drivers tonight. But obviously the drivers to watch out for, obviously, is the main one is the Rimpa, because obviously with the permutations, we'll go back to the permutations while we're waiting for the drivers to get themselves prepped up. We'll just have a quick look at the permutations quickly, just for the ones that have joined in late and not sure what's happening. For the PlayStation platform, the F2 permutations, Rimpa could be champion and would be champion if he wins the race, finishes second, finishes third with Fast Slab, or loses 5 points or less to Speed Queen, or loses 7 points or less to Jump Alliance. So might have to look at that battle between those three drivers tonight, but we could be on for a really classic seed tonight. But what happens as well. But if you are enjoying the stream, please make sure to subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself. So I know it's your debut in the comms. I know I'm not going to put you under a very lot of pressure, but from what you've seen on the qualifying and seen some of the pace that you've seen from based on the driver standings that you saw, do you reckon there'll be a few shocks tonight, or do you think there'll be the usuals in the top three?
Well, obviously, Rimpa didn't have the best of qualifyings as he usually does, and we might see some shock performances from different drivers. Well, we might just see Rimpa just really overtaking and getting past all people and dominate the GP like he usually does.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so. But yeah, should be. I reckon. I reckon there'll be a few shocks tonight. But it just all depends on how the top three of Rimper, Speed Queen, and Jump Lion do well in this race tonight. So Jump Lion, Speed Queen, as you saw, they'll be under a lot of pressure to try and stop Rimper from gaining the driver standings and try and hold on for another race until the finale next week at Singapore. So it should be. I think we're on for a classic at the Spanish Grand Prix tonight. We're just waiting for some confirmation of the drivers to make sure they get their setups ready. But yeah, check out the Invictus Racing League on the social media sites of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. And also check out the InvictusRacingLeague.com for all the latest info and everything that related to with the standings and everything else related to Invictus Racing League. Not only we're live exclusive for you guys tonight, we also got the Twitch channel, which is on the Xbox platform for the F1 League. So check them out, guys. Please check them out. And also check out the rest of the week for the PC leagues for F1 and F2 tomorrow night, as well as the PlayStation platform with F3 and F4. And then also we have got the performance. It's called the Performance Day because you've got the PlayStation and the Xbox version on the Thursday nights at 8 PM on YouTube and on Twitch as well. So check them out, guys. Please check them out as well. But overall, I think, and also check out the F1 League on the PlayStation platform for the finale at Singapore next week on Monday night. Obviously, Harry, well done to him for winning the Drivers' Championship as well. Brilliant stuff from him as well. So, obviously, Mr. Steen, Keza, Huntari, Luke Bailey, and Beck, they have all on the softs. The rest of the drivers are on the medium tyres inside the top 10. But also, if you look at the back of the grid, Dan, you got 3 drivers who are gambling on the hards already, and Mr. Stim's the only one out of the side of the top 10 going for the mediums. If you was outside the top 10, Dan, would you go on for that similar strategy, or would you go on something different?
Well, I would try. Personally, I would also try on hards, just to not risk getting in any traffic or anything, to lose as less amount of time as you can.
Absolutely, and should be should be a opportunity to try and push on, but we'll have to wait and see and find out on the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League. I wish everyone all the very best of luck. Please, this is a title decider tonight. Could be decided tonight if Rimper. Oh my God, Mr. Steen. He was getting too excited, wasn't he, Dan? On the formation lap,
yeah,
as well. So he's just trying to warm up his tyres a bit too much. Hopefully that does not compromise. Well, luckily he's fine now, because it would have been reset to the track and he would have had cold tyres to start off with, and you don't want to start off with the cold tyres at all, to be fair. So, as I said, we're at the penultimate. We're at the round 11 at the Spanish Grand Prix. I wish everyone all the very best of luck in the F2 League and the PlayStation platform. Can Rimper win the Drivers' Championship tonight? Or will Jump Lion or Speed Queen stop Rimper from getting that title as quickly as possible? Here we go, guys. All the drivers are all set on the starting grids now for the lap 1. We got 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights, and we are go! Who's had the great start? Who has had the great start at the Invictus Racing League? The F2 League. Oh my God! There was looks like Mr. Steve lost the back end. Now Mr. Steve trying to hold on the inside line. Now Keza trying to go around the inside. Not enough to try and make the move around the outside, but Rimper's back up to 5th. Beck's dropped down to 6th. But massive start there for Mr. Steen. But what is happening so far? It looks like the Ferrari of Stefan got ahead of Nightshades. Speed Queen back up to 11th. But battling out against Hubberstein. And now we've got 2 wide scenarios and the McLaren. Jump Lion. What a move there from Jump Lion. And look at the Beck. Jack Hickey. That was close call there, Dan.
Yeah, and Beck is really dropping down. He's not showing the same pace he had in qualifying. Maybe the rainy weather really suit him much better than the drier conditions.
Absolutely, and looks like the Red Bull of Nightshade's just gone ahead of his teammate of Speed Queen as well. So hopefully they'll try and push on to try and close the gap onto the constructors as well. They don't want to lose so much time on the Alpha Towers as well. Mr. Steve got the fastest lap of the race with a 1:22.705. We're on lap 2 now. So here we go, trying to push on massively. Is there any battles? Oh my god, Keza nearly trying to make the move on Mr. Steen, but not enough. So Mr. Steen will be under a really lot of pressure from Keza, but great driving so far, Dan.
Yeah, but Keza is really pressurizing Mr. Steen, and Mr. Steen will definitely be feeling the pressure, but he knows he needs to keep cool, keep calm, and not feel too much pressure, because from pressure will become some mistakes.
Absolutely, and you can't make any silly mistakes, and that is absolutely crucial, especially when you go through to the blind right-hander. It looks like Stefan's made a move on Beck onto 8th place, but still watching the top 2 at the moment, because Mr. Steen, who's doing an absolutely stellar job to try and pull away, but Keza ain't giving up the situation. Now Keza could have a chance now with the DRS. The DRS should be active, not now, but will be in the next lap as well. And look, Rimpa, there was quite a few drivers who had the fastest lap, but Rimpa's got the fastest lap of the race now with a 1:19.945. Keza does not enough to try and close the gap, but who are you watching so far, Dan?
Well, just watching Beck, who's got some damage on his front wing, and now he's gone into the pits and changed his front wing. So, well, his day just went from bad to worse from the start of the race.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully his only hope would be to try and get back into the safety car as quickly as possible. But he has been struggling in the wet conditions that we saw in the qualifying at Turn 1, so hopefully Beck can try and emulate that and try and avoid that as much as possible. But at the moment, Andriy could have a chance on Keza as quickly as possible. Still, the Mercedes driver trying to close the gap onto the racing point in 2nd place. But overall, Dan, this is what I was saying. This is the closest battles, most consistent battles we've seen so far. But the drivers that are on the medium tyres, this will be a benefit them in the next few laps or so.
Yeah, you can see from 5th to 13th, all in different tires apart from softs, and well, the people on softs really need to try and pull away from the people from medium and hards, because if they want to make a 2-stop work, they have to make pull up a big gap, unless they're trying to do a soft to hards, which is definitely possible.
Absolutely, we just have to wait and see if that could pull off massively. But still, watching from the top 4 itself, we also got, not only we're watching that, we also got quite a few drivers who have also battling out at the bottom of the grid to watch out for. But the most talking point is the soft tyres trying to hold on as long as they can, because the tyre wear is not going to be great. The DRS should be active, but the DRS feast is going to be mad. It's going to be absolutely mad. But oh my god, the McLaren of John Lion nearly went to the back of Rimpa, so he's got to be absolutely careful. Now, Jack Hickey could be having a chance to try and close the gap onto John Lion, who's in 6th place. But at the moment, Luke Bailey in 4th, trying to close the gap. But with the DRS train, it's always been that difficult, Dan.
Yeah, and it's, as you said earlier, it's not really easy to overtake on this track, and they'll have to be at least within 5/10, under 5/10, to try and at least be close to making a move.
Absolutely, and that's what you need to try and produce the goods as quickly as possible. It looks like Jack Hickey could have a chance to try and close the gap onto John Line again for 6. He's just having a quick glance to say, look mate, I am here, I will try and make the move, as quickly as possible. Beck has got the fastest up the race with a 1:18.531. If you're in the top 10, guys, you will get, if you get the fastest lap in and you're in the top 10, you'll get an extra point as well. So check it out as well. Beck can try and bounce himself back into in congestion. It's going to be a bit man of a task now, unless there's a safety car now, to be fair. But it's all being absolutely close. From 1st to 9th, they're all within like a second of each other. Smoking Ace has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he'll be absolutely fuming, to be fair. So, still watching this battle between Jack Hickey and John Malone for 6th place. But Jack Hickey could be on for a pressure moment because Stefan's just right at the back. Keza, the first driver of the soft tyres to pit already. Do you think that's too early for the pits, Dan, or do you think he's trying to do the undercut? We do apologise if you hear any technical difficulties, guys. We do apologise if you hear any technical difficulties with that. Hopefully, we'll hear Dan's point of view in the
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, you must have had some technical difficulties.
Yeah. Oh, and Keza spawned into the wall, and he's damaged his front wing.
So, Keza at turn 2 has been really struggling with some of the drivers tonight. Now is out. Well, not out, sorry. He's just lost a bit of his front wing, so now he'll have to go back into the pits now and put on some fresh tyres. But, yeah, you will have to try and do some more fresh tyre moments. But still, on lap 6 of 33, all the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League on the PlayStation platform. We've got Mr. Steen, who's in first. Andriy is in second. Luke Bailey in third. Rimpa is in fourth. Keza's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Hatari is in the pits now. Huntari is in the pits, so it might go on for the medium tyres now. Just watching the Renault try and have a quick look at Rimpo, who's in third place. But who are you watching so far, Dan?
Huhtari went on a medium tire, so he'll be doing a 2-stop, and well, he'll have to make a lot of moves and not get held up by traffic. Okay.
Fair dues. Hopefully he doesn't get caught up with traffic, and hopefully he doesn't want to get spin out at turn 2, which people have been really struggling with again as well. So at the moment, Stefan trying to close the gap. Rimpa could be having a chance to close the gap onto Luke Bailey in second place. So we'll have a quick glance at that, see if we can try and put the gaps on. But Mr. Steen and Luke Bailey, both drivers on the Williams, so one of these drivers will have to try and pit unless they do a double stack, which will cost the other driver massive, which in this case Luke Bailey losing so much time. He might have to do another lap, which will damage those tyre wears. Hopefully he'll try and save it, but he'll be under a lot of pressure now. Mr. Steen has kept out. Luke Bailey's in the pits, so Rimpa with the DRS. Jack Hickey, who's been really impressive on his debut last week. Could he get another podium tonight? That's a big question, but still, great driving from all these drivers tonight, Dan.
Yeah, and Luke Bailey is doing what I said. He's going into for the hard, so he'll be trying a 1-stop.
Okay, so he'll try and do the 1-stop scenario, Luke Bailey, but then again, sorry,
he's really close to Huhtari.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at that battle between Luke Bailey and Hatari now. So obviously Hatari should have the better tyre wear, you would think, with the medium tyres, and Luke Bailey on the hards. So the hards ain't going to kick off now and again for the next few laps, but hopefully the mediums should be kicking off in the next lap or two for Hatari. So they'll be under a lot of pressure from these two. So let's go back to the top 3 now. Top 3 between Mr. Steen, Rimpa and Jack Hickey. So Mr. Steen will have to go to the pits unless he's gambling to do another lap, which I'll be very surprised. No, I was going to say Mr. Steen has gone into the pits now. He's finally going to the pits from the soft tyres, so he will be, hopefully will be on either the mediums or the hards. So Rimpo's now in the lead and could win the drivers' championship tonight if it stays like this. So if you're in the chat, guys, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think Rimpo will win the title, or do you think there'll be a shock along the way tonight? That's the big question. Can he try and produce the goods? It looks like Hunteri's gone ahead of Mr. Steen. Mr. Steen's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he'll be absolutely fuming. Absolutely fuming. I'm going to have a look at Mr. Steen now, trying to close the gap onto Huntari. But yeah, Dan, what's your thoughts of the race so far?
Well, obviously the pack is really close to each other, and the strategy are split, so be ready for a surprise.
Yeah, be ready for an absolute surprise for these drivers tonight, and hopefully there'll be a bit of hopefully there'll be a few more battles galore, as we always say. So let's go back to Jack Hickey. So Jack Hickey was on there. Looks like the Ferrari and McLaren just behind. Can Stefan make the move? He does make the move. He does make the move, and just at the nick of time, ahead of John Polayan in third place. That's a really good move there from Stefan. Did you see that, Dan?
No, I missed. I was just watching Jack Hickey really closing up the gap to the championship leader of Rimpa.
Okay, so at the moment, as you can see, Rimpa and Jack are closing the gap by 6/10 as things stand. But John Polayan needs to make the move done as quickly as possible. It needs to get close to Rimpa, because this is the part where you cannot afford to lose any positions at all, and that is crucial. That is absolutely crucial. So here we go. Can Nightshades? Nightshades is on the Red Bull car. Hopefully it gives some wings moments there as well. But going back to the top two, Jack Hickey, I know this is his second race of the season on his debut. Well, he had his debut last week, but he had a podium last week, and I felt like he had a great drive. And I feel like he's doing another drive as well. And also got another battle behind between Nightshades and John Polayan. So we might see that in a moment too. But Jack Hickey not enough. Nightshades not enough to close the gap. But what battle are you watching so far, Dan?
Yeah, I'm still watching the Jack Hickey. I'm on board with him. I'm just watching. He got really close into turn one, but still not enough.
Still not enough to try, and I wonder he's trying everything he can, Jack Hickey, to try and close the gap. But Rimpa might have just used enough ERS to try enough to get onto the perfect corners to try and pull away as much as possible. But overall, Jack Hickey with the DRS trying to close the gap, not enough again. What does Jack Hickey need to do to get past Rimpa, Dan?
Well, there's much he can do, and he'll just hope that. He in the last couple of corners he needs to close up within at least under 5/10, and at the exit of the chicane he needs to get the best possible exit he can get.
Absolutely, it's already 5/10, 6/10 now, the gap. So as you said earlier on, you need to be within less than 5/10 to try and make any move before the start of turn one. But not enough to get the move done. And these two are having a proper battle. You also got Stefan and John Polayan in third and fourth, also having a good battle with Nightshades in sixth place as well. So fourth, fifth, and sixth. Third, fourth, and fifth, not fourth, fifth, sixth. So I do apologise with that. But then also got the battle between the two Williams drivers of Mr. Steen and Luke Bailey for 10th and 11th respectively as well. So so far so good for Rimpa, who could be on to win the Drivers' Championship as it stands tonight. But as the moment says, you could win a title all the way to the end of the season. All the way to the end of the race, the last lap, and that dream could be shattered, because you probably not noticed, but one of the drivers in one of the leagues a couple of years ago was definitely in the lead, definitely ahead, and then all of a sudden, by the last lap of Brazil, lost it completely, and that's what cost the title, and be absolutely dividends now. And it looks like Rimpa and Stefan are both in the pits, and they'll be on for the one stop on the hard tyres to go all the way to the end of the race. So good drive there from Rimpa. As long as Rimpa is trying to close the gap onto Speed Queen and also Jump Lion, this Jump Lion needs to step up now. If he wants to keep that tyre hopes alive, he really needs to step up a gear massively. And now a couple of drivers are also closing the gap, and it looks like Smoking Aces, who's having a struggling race at the moment, losing it to Beck in 12th. But what's your overview of the race after a third of the way, Dan?
Well, I'd just like to point out, because Rimpa and Stefan Rans both overcutted Mr. Steen and Luke Blakely in a Williams. Obviously both are on a one stop, but going longer with mediums, Rimpa and Stefan, and they overcutted them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good start there from obviously from the drivers who have already started off in the mediums, with Rimpa and Stefan getting ahead of Mr. Steen and Luke Bailey. Jack Hickey now, and Jumper Lion, Nightshades. Is Speed Queen going to join the battle? No, Speed Queen should be pushing on massively to try and pull the gap away. 100% on the hard toes. So Jack Hickey, Jumper Lion, Nightshades still watching this battle. Can Rimpa will be on to get ahead of... No, Jack Hickey has gone ahead of Rimpa. Jack Hickey has gone ahead of Rimpa. So that extra lap that he had, unless, I mean, Rimpa might have been caught with a little bit of the traffic itself, but that's still impressive stuff there from Jack Hickey, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously the mediums are quite softer strategy, and it looks like Rimpa just pulled out too quickly into the pits.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now Jack Hickey could be on for a chance to a great result tonight in the F2 League on the PlayStation platform, which you can check out on the YouTube channel with all the other races of F3, F4, F1 of the PlayStation platform and the PC platforms throughout the week as well. So check them out, guys. Check them out as well. We've got Jumper Lion and Stefan also battling out for 7 and 8. So we're not even at the we're nearly at the halfway marker. But time does fly for these drivers to try and produce the goods. And now Mr. Stibb, well, has gone into the pits now, which will be his one and only pit stop as well. So it's been an absolute brilliant battles tonight, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh,
really
Jack!
Good battles, but then Jack spun it on turn 2.
Oh, that could be a commentator's curse. That could be the commentator's curse. I said Jack Hickey could be on for a good position to do well tonight in the F2 League, and now unfortunately at turn 2, which people have been really, I keep saying it, sorry, but it is true. Tonight it's been a real struggle for these drivers on some of them for turn 2. Dan, do you agree?
It's obviously, if you put the power too early, you can spawn quite easily or turn too aggressively. But Kukhtari, who started on, who was leading the race at the start, he just got a 3-second time penalty.
So he's got a 3-second time penalty. There's quite a few drivers actually who've got a 3-second time penalty. We'll have a look at the penalties now. So 5 drivers who've got the penalties, which is Huntari, Mr. Steen, Smoking Aces, Beck and Keza. Those are the unlucky drivers to have the penalties tonight. Stefan is going to try and make the move onto Jump Line, but not enough. We haven't seen much we've seen a few overtakes on the stream, but this track, you would expect on the start finish in Australia, you would expect quite a lot of overtakes, but with the DRS tray, it's just always been that difficult, Dan.
Yeah. obviously, if well, the turn one is not it's not enough of a hard braking zone to make a for it to be a great overtaking zone, but it's definitely the best within the whole track.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just, I'm not a big fan of turn one and turn two, because if you make a silly mistake, you're just going to lose so much time in the race itself, and you can't, especially at this stage of the championship and also the contenders for everyone tonight. It's just going to be very, very difficult. But so at the moment, Speed Queen, she's in the lead in first place. Hubberstone is in. So Rimpa's going ahead of Huntari. I do apologise. So Speed Queen in first. Hubberstone is in second. Rimpa is in third. Mr. Stim's got a 3-second time bounty for multiple warnings. Huntari is in fourth. Jumper Lion is in fifth. Stefan is in sixth. Nightshade seventh. Mr. Steen 8th, Luke Bailey 9th, Jack Hickey in 10th, Smoking Ace is 11th, Mr. Stim 12th, Beck 9000 is in 13th place, and Keza unfortunately in 14th place with that spin during that after he had that pit stop as well. So just trying to see if there's any shocks. So at the moment, obviously, Speed Queen and Hubberstone are on the hard tyres. So we'll have a look at those top two drivers at the moment. Still getting close with the intervals. But then also you've got the mid pack between John Lion, Stefan Nightshades, and those two drivers. It looks like Speed Queen has finally got into the pits on lap 18. Lap 18 is the one where she'll gamble to go on the mediums all the way to the end of the race. But Rimpa with a 1:18 flat, that's a great time for him on the hard tyres. So he would be back up to first place whenever Humberstone is going back into the pits as quickly as possible. But Stefan closing the gap on the jump line. But Dan, who's been your, at the moment, at the halfway point, who's been your driver so far that's been outstanding for you?
Well, Rimpa really is actually on the net race lead, because Huktari still needs to box on the he's on the 2-stop, but after Humblestone pit, Rimpa will be leading the race.
Absolutely, and that it is true with that. But overall, we've got quite a few drivers who are trying battling out on track. John Blind, Stefan and Nightshades. So let's see what they can try and do from fourth place. Still, we've got Rimpa and Huntari. Hubberstone's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so he is in the pits now. He is finally going to the pits, but that'll be quite interesting between himself and Speed Queen, who's dropped down to 10th place. We saw from Jack Hickey an extra lap has benefited massively. Can Hubberstone try and get ahead of Speed Queen as quickly as possible, or this will cost them dearly? And it looks like Speed Queen's just gone ahead of Hubberstone. That's lost him that bit of time in that scenario, but you did not expect that at all. But overall, still watching the three drivers who are watching from John Lion, Stefan and Nightshades. But from your perspective, Dan, is there any drivers that you're watching so far?
Well, just I'm watching right now Humberstone, who just came out of the pits, and really interesting where he would came out, and just came out just behind Speed Queen.
Absolutely, and hopefully he'll try and close the gap onto Speed Queen. But also, Jack Hickey backed himself up to 6th after that unfortunate spin earlier on in the race, so might have a chance to try and catch up to these guys who are in. Well, Jack Hickey, as I said, he's been really impressive with the driving. I've been really impressed. I know it's his second race of the season, but he has been really impressive, and hopefully he can try and be consistent, which he has been doing lately, and he can tell because he's got the fastest of the race with a 117.976 That's a really good time there from Jack Hickey. But now, can he try and make the move? Speed Queen has gone ahead. She's gone ahead of Luke Bailey now for 8th place. So now, this could be the perfect moment. So, I'm going to put to the leader. So between Rimper and Speed Queen is 10 seconds of a gap. That's 10 seconds of a gap. Obviously, the mediums will need to last as long as possible to finish up in the race and hopefully get close to the top 3 as quickly as possible. But it's going to be a mammoth task for Speed Queen to try and get herself back to the top 3. But overall, it's going to be a bit of an ask as well. So at the moment, still watching this battle between 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment. But yeah, Dan, who are you watching so far?
Well, Tarek is on a 2-stop. He's on a medium tires, and well, the 2-stop was a bad choice because now he'll drop down a lot of positions after he boxes, which is right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see if Hotari can try and get as close to the top 10 as possible. So still watching it from the perspective. Speed Queen is now making the move ahead of Mr. Steen just at the nick of time. She's done an absolute stellar job. Back herself up to 6. Now try and close the gap. Mr. Steen, who was pole position, now in 7th place, needs to try and push on massively. Now here we go. Can Speed Queen try and defend against Mr. Steen? With the 2 Williams drivers just behind, it's going to be an absolute belter. Let's hope the Red Bull gives some wings moments there as well. So, but with the 2 Williams on the hard tyres as well, you would think the medium tyres would benefit a little bit of a gap at the moment, Dan.
Yeah, Speed Queen obviously needs to make the most out of the softer compound and really need to make the moves when they count and when there's a chance.
Absolutely, absolutely. But hopefully he'll try and do it. It looks like Nightshades has got up to 3rd. Stefan drops down to 4th. That must have happened on the last corner. So Nightshades got himself into 3rd. Now trying to chase John Belion for 2nd place. John Belion needs to close the gap onto Rimper. Cannot afford Rimper to win the title tonight. Whatever happens tonight, if Rimper gets 1st, that is it. That is it. He has won the Drivers' Championship. And that is why you cannot afford to make any silly mistakes. So hopefully, like I said, at the moment, the gap is 21 points coming up to tonight's race. Obviously, the best points that you would get is 16 points max if you get a fastest lap. But then again, you can't afford to give Rimper another podium because he's on an absolute stellar of a job. And I've been really impressed with him tonight. Really impressed again from his standards. And look at Jack Hickey now trying to close the gap onto Stefan for 4th place. I'm going to go back to Nightshades because he's within 7/10. But at the moment, Dan, what does Jump Line need to do? I know he's four seconds behind Rimper, but he really needs to step up to try and stop Rimper from winning the Drivers' Championship tonight.
Well, he'll definitely be hoping that Rimper makes a mistake, which is definitely rare from Rimper. But I'd like to point out that in Jumper and Nightshade, both in Jumper gained 6 positions and Nightshade gained 7 positions. So it was really great recovery from both of them.
Absolutely, you did a stellar of a job with that because the biggest mover is Nightshades with 7 positions, and the biggest loss, or the biggest loser, shall we say, is Keza with 12 positions. Massive positions as well. So he'll have to try and bounce back as quickly as possible. But overall, this is going to be tough for these drivers. The top 6 have got no penalties at all. No penalties at all, but still impressive stuff. Still watching the top 3 between John Line and Nightshades for 2nd and 3rd respectively. Do you ever feel like whenever you have a battle, you get dragged in, but you lose out on the person that you're trying to battle for the win, or for like a person ahead of you? as well. We've got yellow flags
Oh,
at the
there's
3.
something happened.
Yeah, there's
Mr. Steen.
So Mr. Steen, who's so Mr. Steen has just got himself back up to the racing now. I was just trying to see if there was any action galore, but now contact. There's like contact between Nightshades and John Belion. They're still banging out. John Belion trying to hold on the inside, but not enough. Nightshades makes the move. Nightshades makes the move into second place. That's a really good move. Now Rimpa is on for the Drivers' Championship as we speak. As we speak now. So Jack Hickey, who had that spin earlier on, is now in a position to challenge. Could be on for a challenge for the top two, probably top 3 at most. But as long as he doesn't make a mistake now, again, that could be a commentator's curse for all we know. But now Jack Hickey, now trying to battle it out with that DRS. John Belion is just hoping that Nightshades makes a mistake. But at the moment, Jack Hickey is just trying everything he can to make the move done. But great battle so far between these 3 drivers, Dan.
Yeah, really great battling and obviously really clean, which is really important. But Nightshade with he's got some stellar pace. Gained 8 positions now and just recovered from quite a bad qualifying to great race.
Contact! There's been contact between the 2 drivers. There was contact between the 2 drivers. It looked like John Belion was trying to make the move on the inside. The way it looked on my screen, it looked like, I don't know if there was enough gap. Again, that'll have to be looked at by the stewards afterwards, but did you saw that in a more clear view, Dan? Sorry to interrupt.
No, I completely missed it.
Okay, so
I was just right on board with Nightshade at the time, and
okay, fair enough. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. If I get this wrong, I do apologise. But the way it looked to see if John Belion was trying to make the move into turn 1, but not enough to get past. So Nightshades in second place. Jack Hickey, who's in third, and now sitting in the podium stuff now. But again, the drivers needs to try and push on massively with the hard tyres. Obviously, Rimpa's got another lap on top of the tyre wear length, and that's going to be crucial for these drivers. Well, let's say crucial. It's going to be under pressure mode, depending on how these drivers can try and keep up with the pressure. But Jack Hickey closing the gap into Nightshades in second place, but also Huntari battling out with John Belion in 9th place. So who are you watching so far, Dan?
well, I'm still watching because Jack Hickey really closed up to Nightshade, and he's really starting to pressurize in Nightshade, and Nightshade's quite starting to feel the pressure because he's locked up to almost every single corner since the start of this lap.
Absolutely, and he's under very, very lot of pressure from Jack Hickey, who's on that hard tyres. Got extra life since he had that spin earlier on. So Nightshade's now trying to defend massively, but he'll try and save all his ERS as much as possible for that from that DRS straight to try and ban out. All Jack Hickey needs to do is within under 5/10. That's all he has to do to try and make the move done. If he wants to get to second place, he needs to try and make the move. But the gap now is 6 seconds between Rimpa and Nightshades. Now Jack Hickey right on the tail now. Let's watch it from his point of view. We'll try and make the move on the right hand side. Nightshades keeping it on the left now. Jack Hickey now putting himself back up to second place after that brilliant recovery drive from him. But can Nightshades bounce back into second place, or will there be another shock along the way? But here we go. Just going back to Huntari and Mr. Steen. We've got yellow flags. That is Smoking Aces, I believe. That is Smoking Aces. So Smoking Aces has just gone off track between sectors 2 and 3. So hopefully he'll try and bounce back, but he'll be under a lot of pressure against Keiran in a moment if he doesn't watch out as well. So still watching this battle between Huntari and Mr. Steen for 8th and 9th respectively. We're on lap 27.33, guys. Lap 27.33 on the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League on the PlayStation platform for round 11 at the Spanish Grand Prix. So Dan, which battle that you liked the most so far tonight?
Well, they'll definitely all of, but there's I think yes, Smog just sorry, but yeah, there are many battles, but the battle for the top with Jack Hickey, Nightshade, and Joe Polinen was definitely one of the best.
Absolutely, and now Jack Hickey's got the fastest up the race now, 117.469. That is really, really impressive. I'd be like, if you could try and keep that up in the next few laps, we might see the gap drop down to probably about 4 seconds or 3 seconds. But at the moment, oh my God, Huntari's trying to make the move on the inside, left hand side. Mr. Steen trying to hold on the right hand side. Oh my God, that was close. That was really close there between Huntari and Mr. Steen. Now, that would have been a catastrophic moment. Now Huntari now trying to do what he done again, banging out with Mr. Steen for 8th place. So this is mad. Humberstone's got another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings now. Let's have a look at the penalties as we speak, live exclusive for you guys. Humberstone, Mr. Stim, Beck and also Keza, they all got the 6 seconds with penalties, and also got 3-second penalties between Luke Bainey's, Mr. Steen, Huntari and John Belian. Beck has got, he's now hit 9 seconds. Smoking Aces unfortunately has left the garage and he's out of the race itself. So hopefully he'll try and bounce back next week for the finale at the Singapore Grand Prix, which is going to be an absolute classic for these guys. So lap 29.33, can Huntari now challenge again, which he should have done earlier on. So here we go. This is a great chance. He's trying to save his ERS, but if he can try and go right round the outside again, but still, I think he got put off earlier on when one of his cars was just on track as well, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, but Huhtari is starting to pressurize Mr. Steen, and Huhtari obviously with the 2-stop strategy now trying to get back into contention.
Absolutely, and from everyone's perspective, from this is obviously it's just there is going to be a title decider tonight. It will be happening tonight the way it looks, because Rimpa, who's also 21-point gap, at the moment, Mr. Steen, oh my God, Mr. Steen trying to hold on for 8th place. Huntari is not giving up this position at all, and he's trying to do everything he can, but again, the penalties are just going to be absolutely stay as they are, unless you've got obviously 6 or 9 seconds with the penalties, and we'll lose a few positions. But at the moment, Huntari needs to be within 3/10. Right, chance now. He needs to be on the DRS. He is on the DRS. Both drivers have got ERS, trying to save as much as possible. Mr. Steen trying to keep on keeping his car in the middle of the pack to try and make the move. So now trying to make the move. Huntari is trying everything he can, but he's struggling at the moment, Dan. He's really struggling to try and get past Mr. Steen.
Yeah, obviously Mr. Steen is making the widest Williams Huhtari ever seen, and really great defending from Mr. Steen.
Absolutely. Let's hope he'll try and bounce back. If you like what you see so far, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself. Please also check out, we are aiming for at least 10 likes tonight. Please, if you like what you see so far, please make sure you give that like. Be massive for all of us on this video. Thank you. We're on about another 3 laps remaining. 3 laps remaining. So the pressure. Keiran Huntari now. It looks like Mr. Steen trying to pull away, but now he's lost the the last corner. Now Huntari is now finally making the move, and he has back on himself. Oh my God, there was contact. There was a slight contact between Huntari and Mr. Steen, but luckily, Dan, there was no bad contact as we have seen in that battle between those two drivers.
Yeah, it could have been a really massive crash, a high-speed crash, but thankfully nothing major happened and everything came out good.
Absolutely. Now Huntari now try and push away to try and avoid the second gap, and now he's going to challenge the other Williams. He's probably had enough of the Williams cars tonight, and hopefully he'll try and make the move as quickly as possible as well. But Speed Queen, she's getting closer to Stefan for 4th place. But this was a massive opportunity for the Red Bull team to close the gap onto the constructors. But obviously we'll get the standings updated in a moment or two to find out what's going to happen. So we're on the penultimate lap, guys. We are on the penultimate lap. Speed Queen could have a chance to get herself into 4th place and join with Nightshades in 3rd and 4th place as well, respectively. So Jack Hickey, as I said earlier on, the gap was gone down to like 4.6 seconds of a gap now. So Jack Hickey, I doubt it, unless Rimper makes a massive mistake. I can't see that happening, but that would be an epic battle. So John Lion could be on to move up to 9th. I'm just still watching Speed Queen because she's on to try and close the gap to Stefan, but also the battle between Mr. Steve and John Lion is also the ones to watch as well. Rimper is just coming up to the final few corners now too to do the final lap. So brilliant race. Do you agree, Dan?
Yeah, brilliant race. They kept it clean, and even though it's really hard to overtake, they still made some great moves. But there's some yellow flags on. Beck is out.
Absolutely, and that looks like the same as what he did in the qualifying, unless I'm mistaken. Dan, I think that might be a mistake. It might be the similar position that he did earlier on. But now we're on the final lap now. Final lap of this race. Who will try and get 4th place between Stefan and Speed Queen? Jump Lion moves up to 9th. Mr. Steen drops down to 10th. So massive stuff now. So just trying to see if the pressure is on. Can Speed Queen will have to try and get back into the track between Rimper back up to in the 3rd sector now. Still watch this battle between Speed Queen because this is crucial for driver standings. But at the moment we'll have to go back to it in a moment or two. But well done to this guy. Not only he has won the Spanish Grand Prix, he has also won the F2 Drivers' Champion. Brilliant drive from him. Absolutely stellar drive from him as well. Mr. Steve drops. Jump Line moves back up to 9. No, jump. My God, these two drivers are side by side. Massive stuff. And now Mr. Steve back himself up to 9th. Jump Line drops down to 10th. That was a great battle between those two drivers. Well done to Jack Hickey and Nightshades who are in the top 3. Stefan finishes in 4th. Speed Queen finishes off in 5th. Humberstone in 6th. Luke Bailey 7th. Huntari 8th. Mr. Steen 9th. Jump Lion in 10th. Mr. Stim in 11th. And Keza will finish off in 12th place. But massive congratulations to Rimper on a stellar drive. He knew what he wanted to do. And he'd done an absolute brilliant drive tonight. Brilliant drive. Do you agree, Dan?
Yeah, amazing race from. Well, I apologize. Rimper will definitely be delighted with that, and he won the championship in style. Something he really wanted to do, definitely.
Absolutely, and he had his target set, and he wanted to get it done and dusted, and he got his 6th podium. Or his 5th win in 11 races. 5th win in 11 races. That is really impressive from him. And Speed Queen, she is the driver of the day, and that is without a brilliant drive from her as well. Brilliant stuff as well. But Rimper will be absolutely delighted. We'll get the drivers in a moment or two, but we will go through the classification of the race classification of the Spanish Grand Prix for the F2 League of the PlayStation platform as well. But Rimper will be absolutely delighted. A double, basically, for the win and also the Drivers' Championship. as we speak. And well done to Jack Hickey on his second podium in about, and also Nightshades for his podium victory as well. So brilliant drive from him. His only podium was his win at USA, so good stuff there from him. But here are your race classification for the Spanish Grand Prix for the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League on the PlayStation platform. You got Rimpa in first, Jack Hickey second, Nightshades is in third, Stefan fourth, Speed Queen in fifth, Humberstone in sixth, Luke Bailey seventh, Huntari is in eighth, Mr. Steen in ninth, John Lion is in 10th, Mr. Stim in 11th. You got Keza in 12th. You got Beck and Smoking Aces, who have both had the DNFs or crashes, shall we say, during that race tonight. But well done, which we'll get the drivers in a moment too. But we'll get Rimpa, Jack Hickey, and Nightshades for their top three finishes as well. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back for the podiums questions. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. just bear with me a sec, guys. We do apologise. Just making sure. So, guys, thank you so much for waiting. We do apologise. We had to try and get everyone into the commentators box to hear their thoughts of the race tonight at the Spanish Grand Prix for the F2 League. We've got Rimpa, also Nightshades, and also Jack Hickey for their podium stuff tonight. And also Rimpa will be talking about his Drivers' Championship win, the Drivers' Champion tonight. So we'll hear some of the drivers' thoughts as well. So for the first time, I'm going to go back from third place into first. So Nightshades, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. From your point of view, you had some great battles. What was your best moment that you had during the race tonight?
I don't know, to be honest. I was sort of surprised by my position going towards the end. I feel a bit bad with jump line, and I think he tried to move on the inside going into first corner. I tried to go as wide as I could, but I think my back wheels just clipped the front wing of him.
Yeah.
But no, apart from that, like I said, I was surprised where I finished.
Yeah. Because it looked like, I was just about to say actually, Nightshades, because it looked like Jump Line was trying to make the move, but I don't know if the camera angle that I saw, that the camera angle on the left hand side of the track at turn 1, I couldn't see much, so I don't know whether there was enough gap between yourself and Jump Lion at that turn 1 from your point of view.
I feel like I was so wide that I weren't even going to make the turn, and if I was even wider, and I would have lost a lot of speed. But I think it was quite a late move, to be fair. I thought he would have waited till the next go, but unfortunately, I think that's what happens in that first corner. It's so easy to spin. So yeah, apologies. But yeah, like I said, the race went all right apart from that.
Absolutely, and it's just tough because it's the track where you get the overtakes at the DRS straights that you can, but it's very difficult tonight with the qualifying. I mean, the qualifying tonight, I bet that's been a real struggle for you as well tonight, to be fair.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I've done one lap on the mediums and didn't really go too well. Then I've done my last lap quite late, and I think I sort of lost all the time there. Starting P10, I wish I got the new set of tyres, it might have helped me out, but yeah, like I said, Spain's not my best track, so I'm just glad of how I ended up in the end.
Absolutely. Last two questions from you. You're banning out obviously for the constructors, for obviously the Red Bull team banning out with AlphaTauri. Hopefully we'll get the confirmation of the points itself, but obviously you and Speed Queen are in the top 5. That was still an impressive drive from you two tonight. So I don't know if it's going to be close with the constructors, but if it is close, do you feel like you got a good chance at Singapore next week?
Yeah, well, it's hard to judge really. I think Rimp's sort of one-man army at the minute with carrying all the points, so whereas me and Speed Queen's a bit, well, I'll say consistent, but I DNF last race, so I can't really say anything. But yeah, I think it really just comes down to these last race next week, whether anyone DNFs. I think that's the only way it's going to swing it either or. And if Rimp gets another win, I think that's probably going to maximise his chances. And me and Speed Queen not being in the top 5 probably will do it. I've not seen the leaderboards, to be fair, so I can't really comment anymore.
And finally, from your perspective, as Rimpa is the driver's champion, what are your thoughts of his drive this season, from your perspective?
Oh, he's been brilliant, mate. I think he's had the Prix pace from the start. He's not made any mistakes, and I consider him to be at the top, maybe to go in F1 next year. I think he'll have a good stab at it if he does. But yeah, no, fair play to him. He's done well this season, and yeah, enjoy the championship.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you, Nightshades. Brilliant drive from you tonight, finishing in third place tonight. Like I said, I wish you all the very best luck for next week at Singapore. But whatever happens, you did a stellar job tonight. Well done for finishing third. You can shoot off now. You can stay. It's up to you. But thank you very much for joining tonight, mate. Well done for tonight. Well done.
Cheers, Ed.
Nice. See you later, Nightshades. Jack, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. Try and survive with the voice itself. But from your perspective, Jack, you from the two races that you, including this, you've had some great pace. You've had some brilliant pace from what I've seen. But tonight, do you feel like that spin during that race tonight? Do you feel like it cost you the win or close to a rimper tonight?
100%. I mean, it was just a really stupid mistake on my part. I mean, I'd done all the hard work. I jumped him in the pits, and then I just went for a daft move on the Mercedes when I could have waited probably another lap and got him. So it's all my fault. Rimper at the end of the day made no mistakes, and he came out and won. And if you make no mistakes, you win races. So that's what happened.
It's alright, it's alright. It's just, from the pace that I've seen, I feel like if you started off early in the season, I think we would have had a really good contender for the title. I would say that, based on the performances that I've seen from you from last week on your debut, getting your first podium, and then you got another podium for second place. So, do you feel like your confidence now for building up to the new season coming up at Invictus, do you feel like you've got a chance of doing well next season?
I mean, if I can keep it consistent, obviously it's probably going to be on the new game, so it's making sure I'm quick on the new game as well as this one. But we'll wait and see. If I have this pace going into next season, I think I've got a good chance. But we'll have to wait and see. It's a long way away yet, so.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. See how it goes from your perspective. I know it's early doors because it's only your second race at Invictus, but overall I feel like you've improved massively from the pace that you've seen. Anyway, but obviously Singapore next week. What's your thoughts of the track in your perspective?
I like the track. I still don't know if I'm going to make it yet. It's going to be touch and go if I do or not. But if I can make it, I do like the track. Obviously, so there's some really good competition with the likes of Rimper at the front is really quick. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Hopefully, I think I've got the pace to stick with him and have a good race. But who knows? We'll find out.
Hopefully we'll find out next week on that. But obviously, one more question for you. I know you've only been on two races. I know it's a very, very difficult question. But what's your thoughts of Rimper as a driver's champion now, based on his performances that you have seen from the last two races, Jack?
From the first two races, obviously, he's been at the front pretty much for the majority, and he completely deserves it. His pace is really good. He's really consistent. Doesn't make mistakes very often, if any at all, and that's the making of a driver's champion when you don't make mistakes. So, yeah, Rimper, congratulations, completely deserve it, and we might race you next season, maybe not, but anyway, well done.
Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. Well done, Jack. You did a brilliant job again for finishing second place, and let's see if you can get a hat trick just before we finish the whole season at the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League. Well done for tonight. You finish off in second. You can stay if you want, or you can shoot off. It's up to you. But thank you very much for joining tonight, Jack. Well done.
Yeah,
tonight.
nice one. Thank you very much.
Nice one. And finally, for the last time asking is Rimper, your winner of the Spanish Grand Prix and also the drivers' champion of F2. Congratulations, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just going to let it sink in.
You just let it sink in massively as well.
And just have to say thanks to Jack and Night Saves for the nice words. It's a lot.
Nice one. Fair dues, mate. Now, this was your sixth podium in a row. You've had I think it was 5 wins. I'm sure I said 5 wins.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so 5 wins out of 11 this season. This has been your bestest ever season. I know you've won it, but do you feel like... and there's some races where you felt like you could have done a little bit better, but from your perspective, you've been pinching yourself to win the title tonight. This has been an absolute stellar of a job tonight at Spain. Did you feel under pressure with the permutations coming up into this race tonight?
I'm not really. I have such a good second half of the season. I've been on the podium every single race. Don't know how many now, but I just had no pressure the last couple of weeks. Just been able to drive fast and make no mistakes.
You've had obviously you've won tonight, so you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've had 8 podiums. Out of those 8 podiums, you've had 5 wins, 1 second, and 2 thirds. That's really impressive, especially from a driver who's been really good and consistent. That's the key to your only bad race was in Italy. That was your only bad race out of the whole the season itself. Italy was your worst race, but tonight, I think Jack Hickey was the only one that could be closer to get to stop you and stuff. But in the race tonight, but you had some great pace tonight. And did you like the track, Spain?
Yeah, actually enjoying this in this game. Last 2 games, I've not been a fan of it, but this game is pretty fun.
Absolutely. But from your perspective, Rimper, I know we come up to the final race next week at Singapore, but have you got any good words to everyone from your point of view? To be fair, of your league, of your drivers'
thanks
championship.
to all nice messages on Discord. Just read them.
Fair
Super happy. It's been a good grade, nice grade.
Cool.
Not really racing. No big incidents with me at least. So.
Fair dues. One more question for you, mate. Are you going to try and finish off with another podium next week at Singapore? Is that your aim again?
Yeah, of course I'm going to try, but who knows? No pressure from now.
No pressure as well. So, Rimper, you are a F2 Drivers' Champion of the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League on the PlayStation platform. Congratulations to you. Brilliant stuff. I think, unless I'm mistaken, I think the constructors will be decided next week, unless I'm mistaken. But overall, you did an absolute stellar of a job to win the Drivers' Championship, and I wish you all the very best of luck for next week at Singapore. Well done for tonight, mate. Brilliant job. And you can save me one, or you can shoot off. It's up to you, but thank you very much for joining tonight, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No worries. So, I'd like to thank Rimper, Jack, and Nightshades for their top 3 podiums. Obviously, unfortunately for Dan, he's just had some technical difficulties. He's just had to shoot off. He can't get back in, so hopefully he'll try and get back in next week for the finale at the Singapore Grand Prix. But news headlines for tonight. Rimper is the Drivers' Champion of the Invictus Racing League, the F2 League. I think the constructors will be decided by next week, unless I'm mistaken. That could be decided by next week. Can the Red Bulls try and stop the AlphaTauris? That's the big question of it all. But overall, there's some drivers who are really stepping up a gear. But yeah, you just can't wait for Singapore, which is one of the trickiest track, especially when it hits the rain that kicks off now and again. Cheers for that, guys. I'll see you all next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.